Greetings, sir. This is Sengi Inc. Production. I have with me one of Winnipeg's greatest musician. His name is Jeremy. Jeremy, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. When and why did you start playing music?
Ooh. When I was about 3 or 4, when I think my first real encounter with music that I actually remember, I went to music therapy lessons with this woman named Shrudika, and there was like a group class. There was a bunch of people in a room with 8 keyboards, and they were the really synthesizer-y sounding type of keyboards that had 8 buttons that would make 8 noises, which sounded almost identical. Apparently, I could already play Twinkle Twinkle, is what was told. Um, I don't remember this, but I used to hold my dad's guitars and stuff, and he had a banjo around the house. I think I have a memory of that when I was really little, like a 4 string, and I would press the pegs and turn the pegs, I should say. And basically, after that, I was about 5. I got my first real piano. And then other instruments have just slowly built up over the years. I'm an accordion player second, about age 7, and drums came around that time.
Okay.
Clarinet followed after, and then guitar and mandolin and bass and guitars of various types, of course. I own pretty much every single type that one would need just over a long time, and harmonicas and bass
Nice.
clarinet and recorders of different sizes, which I don't use that much these days, but I did get called on a recording session a while ago for one. Somebody wanted a part, so
Okay.
plus I tuned pianos as a side gig because I got tired of waiting for the tuner when I was younger. I have a ukulele collection, a banjo collection, so pretty much, I'm learning oboe, which somebody borrowed me one, and I
Yeah.
really wanted to try it. So just whatever comes my way, I have a go. If I can do it, I can do it. If not, no big deal.
And what was the first tune that you learned?
I don't remember. I'm
Okay.
sure it was in the Little Brown Jug vein of things, or some, older types of songs like that you might play at seniors' homes.
Yeah.
I remember playing Christmas carols when I was 6 or 7. In fact, we made Christmas CDs, and I multi-tracked the drums, and I did the bass parts on this little synthy keyboard I had, and the real piano, which was out of tune a little bit. And my sisters actually
Okay.
sang on that recording, which they're not professionals at all. But my dad just wanted to do it, to make little kids at Christmas. So
And is any one of your family member like musical, or are you the only one?
my grandfather was an accordion player, but he actually just passed on.
Oh,
Gave
okay.
me his accordion, as a matter of fact, which I got all
Okay.
fixed up and put pickups in, and is now stage worthy in terms of amplifying anyway. Um, my dad used to be a guitar player, doesn't play much anymore. My mom kind of tried the music thing, but she really didn't get far with it.
Yep.
My sisters tried in band, but it's the kind of thing they play for a year, then they give up, so really I've been the only one that I would say is truly musical in the sense of having a natural knack and luck, let's say. I believe that's a
Okay.
part of being able to do what I do. Some people have the gift and they excel quicker than others, and I
Yep.
mean, anyone is teachable if you work hard enough, I believe, or most people are, and if they don't want to do it, then that's okay, but I'm
Okay.
just lucky to be able to do what I do, really. I think the gift just somehow, and that's getting back to your first question about the why. I really
Yeah.
don't know why. It just, my mom sat me down in front of instruments instead of toy trucks and stuff and said, here you go, have fun. So,
And which famous musician do you admire and why?
oh,
That's a
um,
tough one.
that's a tough one because I don't listen to as much music as I should. And I
Okay.
say that because I listen to what's around me. So if other people are playing stuff on, in their cars or at their houses, I'm absorbing pretty much everything. Like, I can pick up styles of,
Okay.
say,
Yeah.
certain guitar players, and I can learn to imitate their style if I go back and learn whatever tunes. Like, I've actually had to do that for certain gigs once in a while, or you got to learn how specific keyboard players play because they want the rest of the band wants what they're used to hearing.
Yep.
And then, they might ask you to do a solo where you can do something of your own, but for the main bulk of the tune, it's like, well, they want what they heard.
That's true.
So, you know, it's a balancing act between doing your own thing and, but I admire, there's a lot of, like, this city is full of really, really good
Okay.
local players.
And who was your first musical teacher, or did you have one?
I had a piano teacher, I believe it was this woman, Kathy Cheater, back when I was really, really young.
Okay.
I did try taking guitar lessons, but the guitar instructor got mad at me that I held the guitar wrong, even though I was playing the strings and frets that they said to.
Yeah.
He was like, "You really should change it," and I can't strum with the other hand. I can't go the other way. I learned all my string instruments that way, and that just was something that was inbred right from the way I held them, I guess, and I did it obviously by accident, but yeah, so I'd say Kathy was my first teacher, then this guitar guy, and then I took piano lessons at the Conservatory of Music with a Muriel Melgrim, I believe,
Okay.
and then studied a jazz program as a piano major at U of M. Also
Okay.
got to play in the jazz quartet as a drummer while I was there.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun, and of course, the usual high school bands and things, be a part of that, and performing arts musicals. So
Okay.
you're making me think back. Wow.
And were you influenced by old records or tapes? And which one?
Again, I find because I listen to what's around, I hear so many different things. It wasn't really a specific one.
Okay.
I admire people like Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles, not
Yeah.
because they were blind, but that's a cool thing too. But
Yeah.
I'm influenced by, like, there's this guitar player, Brian James, that's influenced my guitar playing significantly. He's a local guy who plays in bands and does work. And
Okay.
my favorite fiddle players, learning those kind of tunes, like Patty Kustrock and her son. Calvin Volrath's another fiddle player that I play piano for now when I can go to Edmonton and do stuff with him every once in a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Too
And
many influences really to mention because I tend to absorb things because I can't shut the music part of my brain off. It's always listening. It's like even if I'm half asleep, I'm like, oh, we're in A now. Something. That's why it's best to sleep in silence
That's
if
true.
I can. But if not, I don't like people that snore. That's my only
Okay.
stipulation.
And have you ever been in a competition? If so, have you ever won any like prizes?
No, there was talk. Thought about going to an accordion festival out in Kimberley, BC.
Yeah.
Never happened. I've been an accompanist as a piano player at a lot of fiddling contests.
Okay.
So, the fiddlers will get me to play for them, and sometimes even though, like, I'll go to the fiddle contest just for something to do. I'd say a Saturday afternoon where I've got
Yep.
some time off, and select fiddle players will say, hey, I want you to accompany instead of the house accompanist. And I'll go, okay. And then sometimes I'm hired as a house accompanist, so
Okay.
it depends.
So you perform in public?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And where can people come to touch with you, or where can people find out more about
You know
your
what?
music?
Actually, as a matter of fact, my friend Patty Kustrock that I was mentioning earlier, she made me a website.
Okay.
It's JEREMY RUSU, that's jeremyrusu.com.
Okay.
And she keeps a list of all my gigs. When I remember to text her the ones I have, which sometimes I forget, but she has her gigs anyway for sure that she keeps up to date with, and I try and make sure I get the other ones on there. But yeah, my accordion CD, which was actually recorded a couple of years ago, but not duplicated until later
Yeah.
due to various circumstances in life, is on that website as well, so people can download it. And it's a bunch of Scottish tunes and polkas and waltzes, and I'm also the backup band except for Patty's fiddle.
Okay.
So I'm doing all the guitars and mandolin and synthetic upright bass, and I say synthetic because I use the keyboard to play the bass parts, but
Yeah.
because I wanted an upright instead of an electric. And the drums are real, and yeah, everything is me except her fiddle. So.
And what advice would you give a beginner person who's studying to become a musician? and who is very nervous? Like, what would you tell them?
Oh,
It's a tough
um,
one too.
you know, one thing I tell them is if you're learning an instrument and you
Yep.
feel discouraged, um, try to analyze the situation and check whether your teacher is breaking things down into a
Okay.
simple enough form. And I say that because I have a hard time teaching beginners, because if someone's intermediate or advanced, I can help them get better from there, because that kind of stuff I can break down into little fragments, but I don't know where to start beginners. Like starting from Twinkle Twinkle, that's a hard place for me to not move too fast. But I'd say uh, if your teacher's not breaking things down enough, just be patient. If you have to find another teacher, then maybe you do. But 9 times out of 10, I would say that's not the answer. Um, and don't get discouraged. And, you're going to make mistakes and you're going to
Yeah.
make errors. And, I mean, there's not a gig that I can't say that I didn't make a mistake. It just, you got to cover them up well and keep the song going as best as. And I realize that it's easier said than done, but it'll come with time. And you just got to keep going at it and just don't give up. If the road seems hard, it's worth it. And then if you really find that you don't want to do it, that's okay. And music is not a thing that should be forced on anyone, and
Yeah.
it never usually is. I mean,
That's
unless you
true.
have some parents that force you into it. But even so, like, music is such a fun thing that if it seems hard, don't give up. Sometimes trying a different instrument is the option, like guitar, for example. It's hard to push down the strings
Okay.
for some people. Um, or piano, they find it, even though it's a sequence of 8 keys with black notes in between, some people still find it confusing, so it's just keep trying, really.
Okay. And in closing, again, where can people find out more about you?
Well, I would go back to that website.
Okay. Could you repeat it one more time? The website.
Yep, it's Jeremy Rusu, JeremyRusu.com. Also, well, I'm on Facebook, and a lot of my Facebook friends tend to know where I'm playing, and there's musicians. If you run into other musicians, I play with a guy called Pierre Fernet a lot, and my roommate Dan Scramstead. I
Okay.
play in a band with him, which is not currently doing anything at present. Well, we're finishing our CD, actually. But, yeah. So through those means, people can find out where I'm playing or get a hold of me, and I'll tell them as well. So, yeah, I'd say that's about it.
Okay. So that's Jeremy, one of Winnipeg's most famous, I would argue, and
Oh,
most
thank you.
talented musician. He is very, very talented. He plays many, many instruments. So thank you, Jeremy, for doing this interview with me.
No problem.